Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pharmacy Seeds Network. Sunday night, all things natural net. Streaming to you live via YouTube and hosted over the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club repeater. If you want to find out more about our club, you can always visit our website at www.omarcclub.org. That's OMARCCLUB.org. Alright, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start the net. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. The Sunday Night All Things Natural Net is an amateur radio net provided to the amateur radio community via the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club repeater and dedicated to farming, gardening, ecology, conservation, and the like. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. This is KD2IIN looking for check-ins.
This is HGUEP.
Hey, Geeky. Alright, then it recognizes KC2 UVP. How are you tonight, Mike?
I'm doing Dougie.
Hey, Chris.
Everything's just rolling off my back. My dad, he's up there in his age, he just rolls off your back anyways. And I'm doing well. I just let it roll off my back. And, but I hate to get cornered. And, but I'm not cornered at the moment. And thanks for the commentary.
Alright, very good. Well, that's always the best approach. Just let it roll off and keep moving forward. Doesn't pay anything to put energy into things that are non-productive. Very good. Well, glad to have you along with us, Mike. Alright, let's see if there's any check-ins. This is KD2IIN Net Control looking for any further check-ins.
This is 82 TQS 10. This is KD2 UEN Bill Ulster Park.
Alright, so far the net recognizes KD2 TQS, Ken, and KD2 UEN, Bill. Are there any further check-ins at this time? Please throw your call sign.
KD2 UEP K Red Hook.
The net recognizes KD2 UEP K. If there's any further check-ins, please put your call sign up.
Here's KTBH listening, busy eating pizza.
Still eating pizza. Alright, then it also recognizes K2BHM. Let's roll back to the top of the list here. We already checked in Mike and greeted him. We're going to go down to KD2 TQS. Ken, how are you this evening?
I am mediocre. I've been playing
Thanks,
cow all
Kiki.
day and ruminating over
I was
the
impressed with you,
interactions
actually.
I've had today, trying to resolve them. Not necessarily the great result, but it's time for the net, so I can leave the racist and infection control ignoramuses threatening my safety behind, and sit in the backyard with a nice cup of chai and enjoy some good conversation. So, okay, at this point, life is good. Back to net.
Glad to hear it, Ken. The ignoramus thing seems to be spreading, and it's not pretty. I'm glad you're able to walk away from it for a bit and have a cup of chai. I'm having a cup of coffee, so we'll share that and the lack of ignorance in common tonight. Very good. Thanks for checking into the net. Let's roll on down to KD2 UEN. Bill, how are you this evening?
Hey, CJ, to talk with you again. I had a good day today, and things are doing good. And I'm hearing that Jim is finally eating that pizza. It's maybe next time we get together, we'll have to have him make one. Anyway, I had some questions, which I'll get on the second round. I guess I'll let you finish your introductions. And back to you, CJ.
All right, very good. Well, glad you joined us. And yeah, I was just thinking to myself, he's still eating that pizza. Man, I'd be so stuffed, I'd be in a coma. All right, let's roll on down the list here, and we'll come back to your question in a bit here, Bill. KD2, UEP, K, you're up.
CJ. Well, there must be a lot of secrets going into that pizza. It's taken him 2 hours to get around to cooking and eating it, so we're interested in that. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to participate
Hey,
at some
Justin.
level. I have to drop out for a little while. I got a couple things to do, so I don't know what you're going to end up talking about, but I'm going to try to check in again in about 10 or 15 minutes. So, CJ, I just listened to your 23-minute Green Dream Project talk. It was so excellent and very nice. So I'm a little late getting on here. Anyway, back to you, KD2 UEP.
All right, very good. And just to be clear, you're dropping out now and you'll be back, or you're dropping out in a little while?
Dropping out now, and I hope to be back in a little while.
Okie doke, very good. We'll have you temporarily checked out, and thank you for the kind words, Ma. Yeah, I was, like I told you, I hadn't actually seen the finished product of that interview, and I was actually impressed. So that's usually a really good sign, because I usually sit there and go, oh man, I should have said this and I should have said that, but I was pretty happy with it. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you for the kind words. Let's roll on down to Jim, K2BHM. Jim, you're going to have to start distributing pizza if you keep talking about pizza at this rate. You've been making me hungry here for 3 hours now. Oh yeah, I'll drop the link in a minute, Julia.
Would be proud.
Very good, very good. And Jim, just FYI, I think you might be off frequency 5 kilohertz because your signal's a little bit scratchy. It just sounds like it might be off. So just check your frequency quick, and then come back again and just verify.
That's better? Yeah, it was off. Thanks.
Yes, much better. Awesome. And we have comments in the YouTube channel. Pizza with fresh crushed garlic. Yeah, that does sound good. All right, well, I'm glad you're still enjoying that, and we'll just take a pause here and see if there's any further check-ins, and then we'll roll back through the list. This is KD2IIN, Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Looking for any further check-ins, please call now.
KCT UVP checking in for the second time.
Okay, Mike, we already had you checked in, but you're double checked in now. All right, any further check-ins? Blueberry picking. Oh, I haven't been blueberry picking in forever. All right, no further check-ins, so we're going to roll back to the top of the list. KC2UVP, you're up.
You know, it's an amazing paradox. I imagine some kind of paradox or whatever it is. I'm trying to be effectively in action, and this radio has this real ability to not time warp me, but it displaces me, recognized. And anyways, I love everybody out here, and don't get me wrong, I love radio, and I will never give it up. And I'm sorry I'm having a bad day with everybody else. It just seems that I'm overlooked a lot. It just seems that I'm overlooked. All right, 73, everybody. KCTUEPID,
Ay,
clear.
all right, very good, Mike. Well, I hope your warp straightens out and things fly straight and true for you. And thanks for checking into the net. And I guess by your 73s, we'll consider you signed out and secured. All right, we'll roll on down to KD2 TQS. Ken.
KD2 TQS, improving minute by minute. Seeing the stars, hearing the beavers.
Thank you, Geeky.
Glanced up the hummingbird feeder and realized, oh, I saw them twice today. And then I spin around and I have a funny that I will pass
Nice
on.
one, too.
My bike is sitting here. I've got a new bag on the back of it, and I put something across the top of it to air out. And I heard some weird noises. Hang on, what
Thanks
is
for
that? What
watching,
is that?
Actually. Appreciate it.
The squirrels are very busy hiding their horse chestnuts. Climbed up on the bike, flipped up the one slat, stuck a nut
great.
underneath it, closed it back down, and ran away. So now I've got squirrels playing with my panniers and the bike rack. But you know what? That's sort of cool. I don't mind that. So that's all I have. Back to net.
Boy, that just opens up a whole realm of comments. You know, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Are you feeling a little nuts lately? Down the list. That's funny. We used to have a ton of red squirrels around my parents' house when we were growing up, and just watching their antics and their tree-to-tree flight, and especially watching the young ones learning to make that distance judge to jump from one branch on a tree to another. And every once in a while they'd miss one and go, 20 feet to the concrete, and they'd hit the ground running. It just always amazes me. Like a human baby falls that far, they're probably not even going to get up. Just amazing little creatures. But well, I hope they don't start gnawing on your tires or trying to hide nuts inside your tires. But that's cool. They're a lot of fun to watch as long as they're not chewing things up on you. All right, let's roll on down to Bill. KD2UEN.
KCTUEP.
Mike, I'm going to have to ask you to wait your turn, please. KD2UEN, go ahead. So fed up with that.
Oh, thanks, CJ. I just had two questions for you. One was on the chainsaw sharpener that everybody was talking about earlier. Is that an electric one, or is it one that fits over the end? And the other thing I wanted to ask you about was cover for the garden for the winter time. What you recommend?
Oh yeah, he's drinking black tea.
Whether leaves are good or
Schlitzed.
whether there should be something planted. And also, we have small garlic this year. Someone recommended bone meal, but I didn't know what you felt about that. So back to you, CJ.
All right, very good. Well, let's see. That's a lot of topics. Let's cut into the chainsaw first, so to speak. The chainsaw sharpener. It's from Harbor Freight. I think there's other companies you can get it from as well. I think I got mine on Amazon, but I think it was made by Harbor Freight. They run anywhere. I think Chris said he only paid like $27 for his, so they run anywhere from like $25 to $50. And yeah, it's an electric plug-in, and you take the chain off the saw, and it's got a jig set up so that the angles for sharpening teeth are adjustable, and you get exactly the right angle, and you can take off exactly the same amount of material from each tooth. And that's really important for that nice clean cut on a chainsaw, and not to have the chainsaw go left or right on you when you start cutting. Tooth depth and sharpness and chisel depth cut has to be equivalent, or you end up doing this sort of a curve cut. So we'll start with that, and I'll put it back to you.
Okay, thank you, CJ. Appreciate that. I wasn't sure. I saw something that I wasn't sure was it to Harbor Freight or not, but that fit
Polly.
on the end of the
Welcome,
blade.
Polly.
You started the chainsaw up and ran it. So I wasn't sure what
I
kind
think
it
I've
was.
seen those.
But this is more of like almost like a drill bit sharpener type of setup, right?
Yeah, this is very much like a drill bit sharpener. And I think I might have seen those ones that you put them on the end, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me because, you'd either be shredding that tool completely, trying to get the teeth to sit right, or you wouldn't be sharpening the whole tooth. But these are really nice. These are set up for sharpening. The only other thing I would say you want to get to pair with the chainsaw sharpener is a good, relatively fine, flat file. And actually, you can get the file and guide combination in a kit for, I think it's like $8 or $10. And every once in a while, as you sharpen the teeth, that depth between the tooth and the guide that follows the tooth, the follower tooth, gets a little too shallow, and you start to take really fine chips. And you can go back with that file and that gauge and take off, like, it's only a couple of thousandths you got to take off. But when you do that, that opens that chisel back up, and you get good chips again and good cutting again. So that's what I would say. Back to you. This is KD2 and Control.
Okay, gotcha there. Yeah, I've got the regular kit, and I've been filing, so I might look at the electric one
potato
if it's
salad
cheap
sounds
enough.
good.
Thank you for that info. Back to you, CJ.
All right, very good, and yeah, that'll save you many dollars and much frustration in chains. Boy, that's just a handy tool to have. Yeah, well worth the investment. All right, well, I guess we'll come back to your garlic question. I think you had another question, but I just want to continue through the rotation and give another opportunity for check-ins. Let's see, Kitty2 UEP is checked out momentarily. We'll pick her up on the next round, and we're going to roll on down to Jim, K2 BHM. Potato salad would be good.
Oh, still eating. Oh, this pizza's good.
Chops, good call, YT. Save your
Italian
leg.
sausage, pancetta, red
Potato
peppers,
bread,
green
oh, that's good
peppers,
too.
Garlic, black olives,
Oh,
and
man.
radishes.
Radishes.
Definitely a home run.
Interesting. All that sounds really good. I'm not a huge radish fan, but I'm curious. Are you cooking those?
Throw them on the top with everything else, and they cook in the oven.
All right, very good. I assume they're sliced thin or something, sort of like an onion.
It gives an interesting counterbalance taste.
Interesting. That might be a way I'd like them. I usually don't like them, but might have to try that. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your pizza, Jim, and enjoy some for us. All right, let's roll on down. This is KD2 and Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net, and we're going to go ahead and look for any further check-ins. If there are any further check-ins, please call them out. All right, no further check-ins recognized at this time. We're going to roll back to the top of the list. I think Mike had something he wanted to say there, so we'll pick Mike up. KC2, UVP.
This is KCT UVP. Thanks for ignoring me. And while my mind was reeling, I lost the pertinence of my the candor of my conversation. And I hope you know how to add 1 plus 1 and add it up to a couple of digits of confusion, because numbers mean nothing to me.
How to add
and
drink
I'm a
plus
mathematician. I'm going to clear out, once again, I'm going to clear out KC2 UMP for ID.
Good Lord. Oh, just coffee.
73. No more. No more will I
Oh, if you'd only come through that
transmit.
promise.
No more will I transmit tonight. Thank you.
All right, very good, Mike. Have a good evening. Let's roll on down to KD2 TQS. Tone Drunken Radio, no kidding.
TQS, sitting on the side monitoring, nothing further impressed.
All right, very good. And we're going to roll on down to Bill, KD2 UEN. I do try to use that as much as possible, one poly. It's not always practical.
KD2 UEN.
Based on climate and stuff.
Listen, CJ, the next question I had
As
was
much as
on the
possible.
garlic. We had small garlic this year. Zena was selective with her pick of what she was going to plant, going with the idea that the bigger cloves would produce bigger garlic. Unfortunately, very small bundles and not very powerful and the odor and everything with them. So they're still drying, but I don't know, kind of sorry. suggest for garlic?
All right. Well, garlic is a pretty nutrient-demanding crop. It likes tremendous amount of organic matter. So first thing I would do is get lots of organic matter down. If that means you got to import some manure or something like that and get it cooking, I would. Beyond that, it's sort of a complex plant and life cycle. I actually have a video on garlic and its life cycle. You might want to check that out as sort of a reference to give you a little bit more information. But the main thing is good organic matter. Get it in as early as you can in the fall. Most people, well, typically in New York here they say plant around October 20th. I've found from talking to different garlic producers and my own testing and experience, the earlier you get it in, the more established that crop gets, the better chance it has at getting bigger later in the season. And then beyond that, I've always used foliar feeds and drenches and that sort of stuff to address mineral deficiencies in my soil. You might want to have your soil tested. There's really a whole lot of pieces to this, but the big thing is lots of organic matter, a good deep thick mulch around the garlic, and maintain good moisture throughout its entire growing cycle. And that would be especially hard this time of year, and that's probably the biggest limiting factor on it. Not knowing your soil or your garden space, but just knowing our environment and climate that we had this year. So I'll put it back to you.
Thank you, CJ. Yeah, it was a bewilderment for us, and
Hey, Brett and Cindy.
a disappointment to Zena, especially because she loves to cook with the garlic, and I like to eat it. And so hopefully we can do better. This is only, our third year, though? I think third year with garlic, so we're still learning on this one. All right, back to you, CJ. Thanks for the info. We'll take those recommendations.
Yeah, variety. That's a good point too, YT. All right, very good, Bill. And I got a comment here, and I'm going to second this in the YouTube chat, saying maybe try some different varieties. That is also a huge factor. One that I found, well, two that I found that are super productive are German white and Russian red. And actually, the Russian red is even more productive than the German white. So I would say look into those. And definitely go to my YouTube channel and check out Critical Points of Influence Garlic. Just search for that on my channel. That'll help you a lot in understanding that life cycle and seed propagation and nutrition and soil health and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, glad to address that. And we'll roll on down to, we'll see if KD2 UEP is back. This is KD2 IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. And we're going to see if KD2 UEP is back. KD2 UEP, everybody.
Yep, I'm
Hey,
here.
thank you
I'm
for calling me, Dee.
outside. I think mosquitoes are eating me alive. I don't know if I'm going to stay out here.
Okay,
CJ,
sounds good.
Did you plant garlic this year? I forgot to ask you that.
It was a little more mild, geeky. No, I did not.
Okay, thank you. Back to you.
All right, very good. And then we'll roll on down to Jim, K2BHM.
Thanks, CJ. Well, my experience with garlic is it goes good on pizza.
Yeah, me too,
And
geeky.
when
You'll
you
kill
grow it
me.
in the ground, the bulb grows underground, and there's these green things that come up, and they call them garlic scapes. And they are an excellent condiment for your martini. Oh, I'm not a gardener, sorry. KGBHM.
I don't know how you do it, Jim, but you always find a way to mix it in with your martini. Fair enough. All right, this is KD2 IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Looking for any further check-ins. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. All right, no further check-ins recognized at this time. We're going to roll back to the top of the list. KD2 TQS. Ken?
Again, just monitoring. In the end, nothing to contribute. Phrase comes to mind. I know Bill had several other questions, so this gentleman yields his remaining time to the honorable gentleman from Ulster Park. Over to back to him.
That's very congressional of you. All right, well, thank you. And let's roll on down to KD2 UEN. Bill?
Well, thank you, kind sir. Appreciate it, Ken. And
Sorry to
CJ,
hear that,
I
Rodney.
missed the name of that video. Critical point, and missed the rest. Can you comment?
Yes, that would be critical points of influence and garlic. If you just go to my channel and search critical points of influence and garlic. And I can't actually remember, there might even be a whole playlist on garlic, but I had so many questions come up on the Sunday Night Net about garlic so many times in a row, and I repeated myself so many times I finally made a bunch of videos about it. So it's definitely a popular topic and a popular item.
Comment. Thank you, CJ. Really appreciate it. And that's on the Farmer's Seed.
Yes, the Pharmacy Seeds Network, FARMACY, as in let food be thy medicine.
Very good, CJ. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Bill. All right, let's roll on down to KD2, UEP.
Hey, CJ. I don't seem to have a topic tonight. I guess I'm just tired.
Me too.
Nothing special going on. Just quiet.
28
Stars,
videos.
beautiful.
Thanks, YT.
Clouds are clearing, and I think I'm going to go in and retire. So I'm going to be clear and have a good night. KD2 UET.
All right, sounds good, Mom. I can relate to that. I'm kind of tired tonight myself. Well, I hope you enjoy your evening and get good rest, and we'll talk to you later this week. All right, let's roll on down to Jim, K2BHM.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, YT.
Sorry about the martini references, but I'm
Thanks,
a
Kiki.
farmer or gardener, so I have to go to whatever comes up quick. And since we're not talking about rocket science or nuclear medicine or whatever, that's something that somebody can associate with. So, wasn't intentional, just kind of having fun.
Oh, I completely understand, Jim. I always find it interesting to see what you can mix a martini with. All right, this is KD2. I am at control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. All right, no further check-ins recognized at this time. We're going to roll back to the top list at KD2 TQS. So, checked out.
TQS. I have a question on garlic scapes. I know they're rather long. You can cut them to almost any size you want. And I could see where they could really make a good stir stick. But should you stir it or shake it? I'm not sure how you'd use garlic scape in this case. Back to that.
Well, you know, I'm with you on that, Ken. I'm not sure if you would stir it or shake it either. I think martinis are supposed to be shaken, but I'm certainly no bartender by any means. Yeah, those scapes are awesome. A friend of mine pickled a whole bunch when I had a big garlic crop here a few years back, and I actually still have a few jars of those scapes pickled. I should dig those out over the winter and cook up something delicious with them. Never seem to get back to cooking these days. Things are just so busy. All right, well, let's roll on down to KD2 UEN. Bill. Thank you, Geeky, and thank you, YT. Appreciate you guys.
Boy, we have perfect timing here. I hit that ID each time. Wish I could read Morse. Anyway, I think that's. Oh, I also had a question on cover for the winter. We have leaves
Yes.
that we can use for cover, and we get lots of leaves around here. Is that a good cover for the garden for the winter, or do you suggest something else? Back to you, CJ.
Yeah, next to a green growing crop over the winter, I would say leaves are probably the best cover you can find. Lay them down as thick as you can. If you can get 8 or 12 inches on there, do it. They'll do tremendous things. You're importing bacteria and fungi from the trees and the forest with that, and you're supporting the vermiculture, the worms underneath the soil, and then of course that mulch will break down and become nutrient as well. So yeah, that's really one of the best things you could do to cover your soil, and a great way to protect it and add nutrition to it.
Great, CJ. Thanks for that. Appreciate that info. Okay, back to you, CJ. That's all I got for tonight. KD2UEN.
All right, very good, Bill. And just a little feedback on that garlic thing. Yeah, there's a garlic CPI playlist, Charlie Papa India, short for Critical Points of Influence. So if you just look for that garlic CPI playlist, that goes through all those different pieces about garlic and its life cycle, and comparisons between good nutrition, bad nutrition, bulb size, all that sort of stuff. So I hope that'll help you. Let's see, we'll roll on down the list to K2BHM. Jim, are you stirring or shaking that martini with garlic? Okay, Julie, we'll see you later.
Ooh, critical questions. Whoa, okay. Yeah, basically, you would normally put a garnish in of like olives or the little cocktail onions or something like that, and the garlic scapes make an excellent garnish. If you prefer shaken or stirred, whatever, do what you're going to do, but take one afterwards and in a few minutes impart a nice flavor to it. And if you're into hot things, you put a couple jalapenos in a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
And let it sit for
Now that's fire water.
3 days, a week or something like that. You can get a nice Cajun martini. And my sister-in-law loves my chocolate martinis. So
Chocolate
I
martinis.
kind of
Good
got
Lord.
back into this. My wife used to run the Taylorsville Yacht Club up in Taylorsville, bar and
There you go,
restaurant.
Mikey.
So I kind of put in a spot. So it's a hobby, along with making steam engines and radio amateur stuff and so forth. It's fun.
Very good, very good. Interesting on the shaken or stirred thing. I think I would probably have to default James Bond style and do shaken, not stirred. Interesting on the jalapeno. That certainly sounds like a new version of firewater to me. I think if I was going to drink, that might be the way to go. All right, let's just see if there's any further check-ins here. This is KD2IIN, Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If any further check-ins, please call now. Jalapenos. Ricky, the J is silent. I think there was another station trying to call there, but I did not get a call sign. If there's another station out there, please put your call sign out. Oh, somebody's screwing around. Alright, no further traffic at this time, so we'll go back to the top of the list. KD2 TQS, Ken.
Nothing further.
Alright, very good, and that brings us back down to you, Bill. KD2 UEN. KD2 UEN, if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here, CJ. I answered, got all my answers. I'll go look at your videos probably tomorrow and check out, see what's going on with those garlic and get some recommendations from your site. And that will be good. So back to you, CJ, and gee, I think I'm questioned out for tonight.
All right, very good, and that's okay. All right, we'll just roll on down to Jim for a final here, and then I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. KTBHM, you're up.
Yeah, okay. I think we kind of wore out the martini topic, but
Yeah.
the little story store, the little general store, Smitty's in Port Ewan, right on 9W. They sell homegrown tomatoes there, and we had some double smoked bacon from Veteran Smokehouse, and bacon and lettuce and tomato sandwiches this morning for brunch. Was absolutely excellent.
BLT. Oh, I could go for a
can't beat a
BLT.
homegrown tomato. And I think you'll agree with that. KWBHM.
You'll get no argument from me. In fact, you'll get my support on that one. You definitely can't beat a homegrown tomato. And oh man, making me hungry for a BLT now. Jim, you're killing me here. You make me hungry for pizza, BLTs. My eyes are growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and my stomach just can't keep up. Anyway, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. And we'll just roll back to KD2 TQS. Don't want to leave him out in this final rotation, and then we'll go ahead and wrap the net up. So Ken, pick it up.
KD2 TQS, just wondering what type, what variety or species of potato would yield the best vodka to go in a martini with a garlic escape? And any ideas on that one? Back to that.
I have no idea on that. I really don't know. I know a little bit about. I know a little bit about brewing and stuff, but I never tried to make vodka. The only thing I ever tried to make was pure alcohol, and that was just basically because I wanted to make my own fuel, and that is a very intensive process. So I have no idea, but I don't know. Maybe Jim has an idea. We'll throw it over to him quick. K2B at Jim.
Okay. Now we're getting very technical. Process is very critical. Temperature is very critical as to whether you're going to make methanol and ethanol. One is very drinkable, the other is poison. So I just go with the sure thing.
Fermentation is critical for methanol, but okay. All right, very good. I understood ethanol to come from sugars and methanol to come from wood fermentation. But yeah, there's a lot of little tricks and temperature things and that sort of stuff in there. It's definitely a process. Anyway, good conversation tonight, gentlemen. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll call it a night for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. This is KD2IIN, and this has been a session of the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net, brought to you by the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club, located in beautiful Ulster County, New York. You can always find out more about our club by visiting our website at www.omarcclub.org. That's whiskey, 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 Oscar Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie Charlie Lima Uniform Bravo, Oscar Romeo Golf. A couple announcements. Every day at 8:35 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. we have the OMARC Daily Net. The AM net is run by Paul, AC2UQ, and the evening net is run by Rotating Net Controls. Thursday nights at 8 p.m., Dave's runs the Thursday night net. That is typically a technically oriented net with many excellent topics regarding to radio, computers, etc. And then, of course, tonight's net at 9 p.m. is the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. That is all for announcements. At this time, KD2IN and the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net returns its frequency to the radio community for regular amateur use. This has been a session of the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Thanks to everyone who participated. 73's KD2IIN will be clear. Boy, we got a lot of dummies on the radio tonight.
K2J, how's your copy into NCI here?
I am so glad to shut that off. What's going on, people? It's Sunday night. I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm actually hot. It's actually not all that hot out, but I'm hot. YT, no, this is no, this isn't CB, but boy, they sure are starting to act like it, aren't they? Pizza and martini. I don't know about the martini. I've never been a big fan of those, but pizza and a beer would taste good, or a mixed drink, a rum and coke or something would be nice. Yeah, I'm hungry and thirsty too now, Geeky. I say pour us all a drink. Somebody make us a pizza and let's party. We could have a pizza party for the portal. We could have a pizza party and get Schlitz for the portal. We got time. We got 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. You know, sometimes the this net has all kinds of check-ins, and other times it's quiet night. Sometimes that seems to fluctuate with weather, and sometimes it doesn't. But it is what it is. Any questions anybody has in here? Anything anybody wants to talk about or hear me babble on about for a bit? If anyone cares. And by the way, I guess I'm going to mention this again because I just want to really make sure people get to check this out while it's available. Excuse me. The Green Dream Project YouTube channel is running a Greensteading Summit August 20th through the 27th. And they brought together a collection of a whole bunch of people who are farmers, gardeners, homesteaders, growers, soil scientists, down the list. And they put together this whole summit, and it's available on their channel August 20th through the 27th. And then, of course, after the 27th, they'll be pulling it off of their channel. You'll still be able to get that whole course, that whole series through them. You can use my discount code, which is Pharmacy Seeds. Thank you, Geeky, for the link. Much appreciated. And you can also see I just put up a video yesterday with my discount code and partnership code and stuff. You can get, it's normally $30 to buy all the whole video course, and you can get a discount to $20 if you use my partner code. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. You should definitely at least go check out the Green Dream Project YouTube channel. Those guys are out in Arizona, and they're building everything out of Adobe, and they're using rainwater catchment. They're doing some really awesome stuff out there, and Jim and Jessica are just really excellent, beautiful, kind, caring, loving human beings. So if you haven't heard of their channel or aren't aware, please do go check their channel out and give them support. And I think they just released my video, was it yesterday, Geeky? Yeah, yesterday. I did an interview with them, and so that came out pretty good too. So definitely go check that out if you're interested in anything along those lines. And a big thanks and shout out to Jim and Jessica again for having me be part of the conference. I was honored to be part of that. Honored to be on the same list of people as Joe Salatin and a bunch of other really cool creators. Matt Powers, a bunch of awesome people. So that was awesome. Yeah, it is a great set of videos. So far, 16 posted. Yeah, and I think I'm only maybe 5 or 6 through them. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through them all in the release time that they're going to be up. I might end up having to buy them myself just to see them all. I don't want to miss them because it's a really great collection of people and a whole bunch of different perspectives all pieced together into like just this awesome conglomerate of information. So please do check that out. Alright, I guess we got that out of the way, and most of the people in here are familiar with the Paranormal Portal, but if you're not, please check out the Paranormal Portal with Brent Thomas. He'll be live streaming at 10 o'clock. Brent does all sorts of paranormal investigations. He has all sorts of awesome guests on. I forget the guy's last name, but he had a guy on named Dan last night, and that was an excellent conversation. So if you're not familiar with them, you should check them out as well. The Paranormal Portal. They're also on TFR, as am I. TFR, if you don't know, is Truth Frequency Radio. It's tfrlive.com. Boy, I don't know, Geeky. I'm gonna wear you out on links here. Thank you, Geeky, for the Paranormal Portal link. Much appreciated. And yeah, Jessica did some excellent editing. I was really impressed when I went back and watched my video. It was just so professionally done. Like, when I got done watching the video, all I could think was, wow, I wish I could make every one of my videos as professional as those guys did mine. So they raised the bar for me, which is great. Anytime somebody can raise the bar, I'm always ready to do some extra pull-ups to get up to that next level. Anyway, they're definitely well worth checking out. I guess that's it. I'm out of blabbering, so there's that. I guess I'll drop a TFR link in here if Geeky doesn't beat me to it, but he's so darn fast on the keyboard. Might be hard to beat him. Am I gonna beat you to it, Geeky? I'm gonna beat him to it. right, so that's a link to Truth Frequency Radio, or TFRlive.com. You just go under Listen Live, and you can pick the day and the shows and all that kind of stuff. I have a show on there. It's Wednesday at 12 a.m. on East Coast time. It's Tuesday at 9 p.m. on West Coast time, Pacific time. And I just started that last week, and I'm planning to have some excellent guests on there as time goes on. I'm just sort of getting settled in on it, though. But that should be awesome as well if you want to check that out also. And if you're not familiar with Truth Frequency Radio, definitely check that out. Those guys have a whole range of really awesome hosts, and they're excellent information. And you can hear them on iHeart, Tuned In. You can call in and listen by phone, and they stream all over through all different methods and modes. So you don't have that one on your list, Geeky. All right. Oh, now you do. Now you do. So yeah. So I think that wraps up all the information, the informatories. On a personal note, how's everybody doing tonight? YT, Geeky, all my YouTube friends. Did you finally get some rain down there, Geeky? We had thunderstorms building all afternoon today. I could hear thunderstorms like 15 miles that way, and we didn't get a drop of rain yet. And I've been irrigating the last 3 or 4 days pretty heavy. Wood chips, have you mulched or reclaimed land with them? I mean, wood chips are great. I don't know what wood chips you're referring to specifically. But yeah, wood chips are great. Ideally, what you want for wood chips is what's called ramial wood chips. Ramial wood chips are wood chips created from hardwood trees that are 2 inches in diameter or less. And the reason for that is the nutritional profile. Anything 2 inches in diameter or less has a much lower carbon to nitrogen ratio, and so you end up with a really good organic base for compost. That keeps you in that 30-to-1 carbon to nitrogen ratio that you want to see. But ramial wood chips are an excellent tool. Super fungal food. They break down to great nutrition. They help build worms. They protect soils. They block grasses. Yeah, wood chips are a very powerful tool. I got some a couple of years ago here, and actually on the advice of Advancing Eco-Agriculture, I doused them down with Sea Shield and Rejuvenate and an inoculant, several inoculants actually, BioCoat Gold, Spectrum Extra, and Biogenesis, because they said it would cook it down much quicker in about 6 months. The mistake I made was I didn't really double check when the guys brought the wood chips, and it turns out that they're spruce chips, and I put them down on one block that I did, and it slowed. I actually had garlic in that block, and it slowed everything down dramatically, and actually kind of slowed my soil down. So I'm in the process of cover cropping that zone this year, and I think next year I can put that back into production again. So you do have to be careful. You definitely want hardwood wood chips, and you definitely want ramial wood chips, 2 inches in diameter or less. Now, if they're not ramial, as long as they're hardwood, they're still pretty good overall. But the ramial wood chips are definitely where it's at, and even better if you can get them harvested in the spring, like March, April, when that sap rush first starts. That makes a huge difference too. Yeah, that's interesting, Geeky. Watching weather history and making, not coming this way, but I have friends along. Yeah, my mom was talking about the hurricane. She asked if we were going to get a hurricane. I said, I don't know. Can't use the wood chips down there. Yeah, the fire ants. That's what Chris from Homesteading the Hard Way was talking about. He said the ants are just horrible. They can't mulch anything down there. I can't imagine not being able to mulch, man. That would be such a tough thing to have to work around management-wise, because without mulch and cover crops, boy, you're really struggling to keep that soil protected. Yeah, Justin, great to promote good fungal growth. Yeah, in fact, check out Michael Phelps' Biodynamic Now, I think, is the podcast. He talks about using that in orchards in combination with neem oil and compost teas to develop really robust, healthy orchards. And I can tell you, it works. It's incredible stuff. I've heard a couple of different orchard farmers talking about using wood chips that in that way and using those tactics. And very, very powerful soil building tool, especially for perennial plants, trees, bushes, that kind of stuff. For those who don't know, annual stuff tends to be more bacterially oriented soil-wise as far as soil biology, and perennial stuff tends to be more fungally oriented. And so the bigger and older the tree gets, or the bigger and older or the longer standing the bush is in the soil, the more likely it is of more of a fungal type. In fact, in that Green Dream Project series, Matt Powers gives a talk, and he actually talks about the difference, but he actually has some great images to go with that. But he talks about the difference between bacterial and fungal. So if you're not familiar with that, you should also check that out. That video from Matt Powers is excellent, and he's also been working with top leading agricultural scientists, and he really knows his stuff. And he's very passionate, enthusiastic. He's got a great demeanor and cheerfulness to him. You can just hear the excitement in his voice as he talks about this stuff. It's great to hear that kind of passion. Let's see, from YT, speaking of wood chips, if you can catch a documentary on Gene Payne, do it. Some great inspiration using wood chips, heating his water and even fermenting dung to run his Jeep with methane. Oh, nice. Yeah, I played around with, I wanted to build a methane digester back when I was about 14 or 15, and I had gotten the barrels, and I dug the hole, and I had started assembling all the stuff, and I didn't have the money to finish the project, and my dad made me fill the hole back in, or actually I think he filled it back in. But it's something I want to get back to eventually. But yeah, you can also use wood chips and mulch and that kind of stuff in compost heaps, and run like black PVC, black polycoil pipe through those chips, and use that to heat your greenhouse as well. So there's lots of other pieces of this that can fall in and really help work in a sustainable, regenerative agricultural system. So definitely look into all of that. You can mulch with oak leaves without too much trouble. Oh, geeky. Get a pile of oak leaves. Those beds of yours are doing great, but man, they really want more mulch on them. And oak leaves, man, I managed to get a hold of oak leaves from a landscaping job I did, maybe, it's probably, well, I think it was 2013 or 2014 now. But man, oak leaves are amazing. There's just enough acid in them, and there's something about the biology in them. They're very powerful soil builders, and they'll bring the worms in like you wouldn't believe, dude. If you can get oak leaves, get them. Get tons of them. Get as many as you can. They're amazing. Yes, this is where that method came from. Gene Payne buried a coil in a pile of wood chips. Yeah, exactly, YT. Yeah, that's another thing I want to play with. It's another project, and how many projects can one person do on half a shoestring budget while he's doing 5,000 other things? But yeah, very powerful tool. Yeah, oak is an awesome provider in so many ways. A great fire fuel as well. It's about 24 million BTUs to the core. It's definitely one of the higher heat production woods. And it's great for overnight. Like if you're using a wood stove, it's a great overnight burn. It sort of coals up and kind of burns real slow, which is a nice way to release that heat over time. Most of the spring mulch has gone away, but I'll be resetting most beds in this next month and remulching. Yeah, and that's the thing, Geeky. Once you start getting that soil biology going and things start really happening in your garden beds, it's amazing how fast you can rip through mulch. I put on, I want to say 8 or 10 inches of heavy, dense, very straw-like mulch on my on the upper side of my tomato row last fall. Late fall? Maybe not late fall. I think it was probably end of September though. I mean, I put on a mulch layer that I thought would certainly be here into, June maybe of this year. Now, by March, the soil biology had consumed all of it, and it was open, bare soil, super, super soft, with earthworms hanging out, and they'd pop up, when it would get moisture on an evening. It's amazing how fast you can go through mulch when you get that system accelerated. It's funny because Dan Kittredge mentioned that in one of the talks he talks. Dan Kittredge, for those who don't know, is from the Bionutrient Food Association. And he mentioned that in one of his talks. He was talking about people saying that they put mulch on, and you know, it's still there 3 years later. And he's like, well, there's something wrong with your soil biology. You need to get your soil biology going, because I put on 6 or 8 inches of mulch and it's gone in a month or two. And he's right. When that system gets triggered, boy, you just rip through it. When I bought this place 30 years ago, there were 8 nice oak trees on it. Hurricanes have removed a few of them over the years. Okay. Yeah, oak are nice. We have a few oak here on the property. It's more maple. Maple, ash, and cherry primarily here. The cherry I love for firewood, and the maple is good for firewood too, although I don't like the smell of the maple as much as I do the cherry. The cherry is a very, very nice on the lungs and nose, but maple is a great heater. And we do have some oak here, but not a tremendous amount of it. Actually, the north 40 of this, in the deep woods, there's quite a few oaks in there, but they're these massive old trees, and none of them are dead, so I typically don't chase firewood trees that aren't dead here on this property, just because I can go scrape up dead trees, and there's no point in cutting a live tree if I don't need to. Although I do sometimes for cherry, because sometimes a little green cherry is a nice, slower burn. Cha-cha! What's going on, cha-cha? Or is it ya-ya? You know, cha-cha, I can't figure this out. That song on Brent's introduction on Paranormal Portal, you know, it says she's over me. But cha-cha, I keep looking up, and you're not over me. I don't see you anywhere. This and that and the other thing. It's like this and like that and like this and Mantis. Oh, we have such a great community here. Oh, you are there, hovering. Did you go invisible on me? Oh, cypress. Cypress is a cool one, but yeah, I'm not climbing into gators to get any kind of wood. There was, excuse me, there was one guy on History Channel that had an awesome floating log dragger. I mean, I haven't watched TV in a long time, but that thing was awesome. I always wanted to build one of those. It was a floating, like, skidder, basically. Did you ever see that, Geeky? I thought that thing was cool as hell. Or in that creepy closet behind me. Oh, is that where you are? Well, Cha-Cha, come out of the closet. And my shoulders could use a rub. Can I get a shoulder rub? I know, I'm asking too much now. Guys and gals who guys, as Jake would say. You can poke a Cheeto through the closet crack. Rub me first, promise you be next. Oh, I've heard this before. I've heard this before. You give me a back rub and then I'll fall asleep on you. Yeah, I know how that goes. It's okay, I haven't had a back rub in over a decade, Cha-Cha. I'm not expecting them. I probably wouldn't help anyway. I'm probably rusted in place. Yeah, then you hear the snore, exactly. Yeah. I've put a lot of people to sleep with back rubs. Alright, yeah, Justin, it is portal time. Folks, let's go to the paranormal portal and support Brent. Thanks everybody who came to the stream. Much appreciated. Hopefully we'll see you Tuesday night on Truth Frequency Radio and here on the Pharmacy Seeds Network. Hey, just remember, be the change you want to see in the world.